Hey everybody, it's Stephanie with Bookshelf Banter, and today I'm reviewing a book that is part of one of my favorite series ever. Um, are you guys ready to find out what it is? Which, I mean, granted, if you're watching this video, then you've already read the title that says what this book is. But still, I need some drama because these books are dramatic and mysterious and suspenseful. Okay, The Dark Road. Oh my gosh, I totally just messed that up. I just failed. It's not Dark Road. It's The Dark Enquiry. I really do know what book I read. And for some reason, I was thinking about Dark Road to Darjeeling, which is not it. Anyway, okay, so yes, I'm reviewing The Dark Enquiry by oh my goodness, by Deanna Raybourn. There we go. So let me start off by saying that this book was really good. Like that's an understatement. It was fantastic. Now, I'm going to go into detail about why it was so fantastic, and I'll just start off by saying that, I mean, I've read all the books in the series, and I Dark Road to Darjeeling kind of left me wanting. Like, it wasn't, after Silent on the Moor, it was just kind of a bit of a letdown, and so when I read The Dark Inquiry, I was kind of like, oh goodness, they're married now, and sometimes when characters get married, all that, the tension and stuff is gone, and it's just not as exciting to read about. But in The Dark Inquiry, it is. Oh my goodness, it is. I mean, in this book, there's so many sweet moments between Julia and Brisbane, not particularly sure how to pronounce that, and I mean, you learn how strong their attachment is to each other. There's a lot of examples, and of course, I'm not going to tell them to you because I don't want to spoil anything for you. But oh my goodness, it's just there's so much goodness in this one, and there's also other moments in the book too. I like that Julia kind of starts collecting animals. I mean, at one point she has a mouse that basically gives her a high five. Like, she's holding the mouse, and the mouse gives her a little high five. And I think that was probably one of my favorite moments in the book because it was just so adorable. And I don't really know if mice can actually give people high fives, but that would be awesome if they could, if they were like little Stuarts. Um, and now, before I started the book, I had some suspicions about what would happen. And of course, I'm not going to say what my suspicions were or if they happened, but I had suspicions. And some of them, I didn't want these things to happen, and I really expected them to. And I'm curious. I mean, if you have suspicions or had suspicions about this book, comment and let me know what they were, because then I will tell you if my suspicions are the same as yours. But I don't want to spoil anything. Like, I'm trying really hard to just not say anything except for how much I love this book. There were a lot of parts in this where I kind of gasped as I'm reading. I'm like, oh my gosh. Or I'm like, oh no, she didn't. Because there were a lot of those moments like, oh my gosh, no, she did not just do that. Now, I'm trying to think of other stuff I want to talk about. Oh, there is, okay, so you remember in one of the other books, I think it was Silent on the Moor, where we get to see the gypsy camp where Brisbane grew up, sort of. You get to see that for the first time. Well, when I read that book, I hadn't seen the fascinating show My Big Fat Greek, no, My Big Fat Gypsy Wedding yet. So I didn't really know what gypsy culture in the UK was like. I had no idea. I just thought that these people, I mean, I didn't know that these people were, a lot of them were Irish or just, I mean, I didn't know they were English. I thought that they were from, um, like, Romania, and so I didn't know anything. And then going back and reading The Dark Inquiry, where you get to go back to the gypsy camp at one point, you get more of a taste of that. I was reading this with a whole different perspective of what their culture is like, and not that they had these giant dresses back in the 1890s or 1880s, but I mean, it's the whole thing that it's a patriarchal society, and just it was weird reading this, knowing, like, having those big poofy white dresses and the hair and those super thick accents that those girls have, or that the culture has, and it was different and it was interesting, definitely. Now I will say overall it was a great book. There were a lot of twists and turns, which are a big favorite of mine. I think Callie recently has mentioned in a video that one of the problems that she has when she reads books is that she's able to figure out what's going to happen early on, and I have the same problem where I'm reading something and I'm like, oh my gosh, I already know where this is headed. But with these Lady Julia Gray books, I don't really have that problem, which is awesome to not have that problem. Like, I love stuff that I don't see coming, and there was so much in this beautiful book that I did not see coming. And now I had my, like I said earlier, I had my suspicions, and then I had my, oh my gosh, I did not see that coming, and they met, and stuff happened, lots of stuff that I'm not gonna talk about, but I definitely recommend this. Now I will say that Silent on the Moor is probably still my favorite, just because it just is. I mean, oh, that one just was really good. But I mean, The Dark Enquiry, I feel like Julia and Brisbane kind of have gotten back into the flow of things, and you get to see how they tick when they're together as a married couple. But it's not like it doesn't get boring, and that's what I love. So here's to you, Deanna Raybourn. 2 thumbs up. 2 silly thumbs up on the internet. Internet thumbs up. I thought it was just a really great book, and I'm excited that there will be more. I'm just going to assume that there's going to be more, because if there's not, my little heart, or my big heart, might, be crushed. No, it would be crushed. Not metaphorically. Just, I'm being dramatic. Anyway, I want to read more books. I wish there were more of these books. And I'm so sad. Like, I've read everything that she's written, unless she's, like, everything. And I want more books. Definitely. So that's enough of me fangirling over this book. If you have not read the series, check it out. Don't let the cover fool you. Seriously, if you're looking at this cover thinking, oh my gosh, that's a Harlequin romance novel, it is not. It is not, it is not, it is not. I don't think this cover does it justice, because I think when people look at it, they're going to assume that it's the heaving bosoms kind of like man who takes off his shirt and holds the heaving bosom lady in his arms. It's nothing, not like that. It is murder mystery, historical fiction, and there is romance, but it's not that. It's not what you it's not what you think. It isn't. So definitely check this series out. Read all of them. You will want to have all of them at once so that you don't have to wait in between books. Okay. I hope you all have enjoyed this review, and comment and let me know what you think. If you've read this book, or if you read any of Deanna Raybourn's books, let me know. Bye!